The Johnsky is a YouTube channel run by and run for people over the age of 13. People under the age of 13 should click off of this video right now, or watch with a parent or guardian. Viewer discretion is advised.
You don't scare me!
Militus frickin' Tano militiamen, my name is King Prime and welcome back to another video on the YouTube channel here. Now, I have something to admit. Those of you who know me from the YouTube channel or who found my content through YouTube will undoubtedly know that I'm a fan of Halo. It's undoubted, you know. I've got a couple of videos here on Halo content. But those of you who have known me from my Instagram page, at the underscore Johnsky on Instagram, will know me a little bit more towards the direction. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've been a Star Wars fan since I was 5 years old. It's like my entire life's work. So, you know, I think that it's time that I finally take a look at something Star Wars related on my channel. A few days ago, I recently received a new figure for my collection, that being the Star Wars, the Vintage Collection, Mandalorian, or the Mandalorian, Ahsoka Tano, 3 3/4 inch action figure from Star Wars Vintage Collection, which I already said, so I don't know why I'm repeating it. This figure is really interesting, and I have some thoughts on it, including that. We'll get to that, but real quick, let's take a look at the packaging. So, freeze frame. Freeze frame unfreeze. So the vintage collection bubble that we see here is pretty standard. I mean, if you've seen one card, you've seen them all. I just like to take a look at the art on the card itself. You have a nice shot there of Ahsoka Tano, or Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano from The Mandalorian. You got the Mandalorian stamps up there on the back of the card. You have some legal mumbo jumbo that we don't care about. And on the actual card itself, we have some advertisements for different figures sold in the line. Some dust on here, I'm sorry. We have Bib Fortuna. I don't have him, because I don't care. Corvus Ahsoka, which I obviously have. Bo-Katan, who I don't have here with me, but I do have. Yoda, who I don't have, because I don't care. 501st clone, which I don't have, because he's so freaking rare. The Death Watch Mando, who I have here with me. Fennec Shand, who I also have here with me, as something falls out of her hand, the repeater, I'm sorry, and Quill, who I have, but not here with me. So, overall, super standard packaging, came from Entertainment Earth, and there's some minor defects here, like the corner of the card is creased. It's not exactly the straightest, it's kind of warped, if you can see there. Entertainment Earth, who I got this from, charged me $10 for shipping for a $13 figure, or $14 really, because it's $13.99. So I was pretty pissed about that. I don't really care because I collect opened, but $10 for a single figure, shipping it to my house from where, you know, I don't live that far from Entertainment Earth's distribution center, so I'm just a little salty about that. I don't know why the hell they charged me freaking $10, but regardless, I'll live. I wanted the figure, I got the figure, I don't care about the packaging. So that's that little rant over. Let me get Ahsoka back in frame. So freeze frame.
And I think to myself, what are you staring at, fucker?
Frame. Freeze frame unfreeze. Now this figure looks absolutely stunning. Just to get her out of this pose that I have her in, remove the lightsabers real quick, get her in a more neutral stance. This figure looks amazing. Looks even better than the Season 7 Ahsoka figure from the Clone Wars, who I have here for comparison. I'll show her off with this Ahsoka in a minute. But just getting a closer look on that face sculpt, it's like uncanny how good this, what is it called, photoreal technology can get the actors and actresses' appearances. This is Rosario Dawson. It's fantastic. You can even see like some of the creases on the Leku that they have on the actual prosthetic from the show. It looks so incredibly accurate, and the stripes in the Leku look much more accurate to what Ahsoka has always looked like. Even on this Season 7 figure, which the face sculpt is sculpt is good. The printing job, I mean, she's looking with her left eye down in this direction and then that way with her right eye, so it's wall-eyed Ahsoka. Interesting, and there's some paint defects on this one. This one's just so much more crisp. The only thing that I wish, and everyone else has said something about this, so I won't say much, as Togruta, which is Ahsoka's species, get older, the Leku get longer. She's 17 here from inside season 7 of the Clone Wars. She's 40 here, and her Leku is shorter. That's weird, but I don't really care. I mean, I do, but not as much as some people who have gone absolutely freaking ape shit over this. So I don't care that much. I just want to talk about this action figure, which is very good, I must say. As for the other details, she has like these silver details on her padding here. I don't know why you'd need this in Star Wars. Lasers are going to burn through it, and lightsabers are definitely going to cut it. But she has like chain details and braids done up in bronze and silver here, which looks really nice. Some sort of wrapped arm detailing, which she had in the show on her lower forearm, or her lower bicep, I should say, which is strange, as well as some van braces on her forearm and her shins. This is accurate to the show, and also these weird, give me a second, let me look up what these are called.
For Chicago, and I think I have found the greatest mock in the convention center.
Tabi shoes. The Japanese word for it is Tabi, or foot bag, which is interesting. Funnily enough, the Japanese army in World War II wore these, and I believe they did in World War I as well. So super strange. But Ahsoka wears them in combat when she fights the Magistrate in episode 5 of season 2 of The Mandalorian. So it's all accurate, and it looks fantastic to the actual display model. Real quick, for articulation, we have a dumbbell joint at the head, so a ball joint in the neck and a ball joint in the head. It's kind of restricted, though, because for Leku, they're hard plastic, so you're not going to get a lot of motion out of them. You can get a full outward motion and 360 at the shoulder. There's a nice soft elbow joint, which is good for a single hinge. Otherwise, we'd end up with the Gorilla Arms Luke that we've seen from the Dagobah training set, which is bad. At the wrists here, funny enough, we only have a swivel, and this is actually something I noticed on the Season 7 Ahsoka as well. Only has a wrist rotation, doesn't have any sort of bend like, say, this Mandalorian, this Death Watch Mando figure that has a bend for the wrist, so you can like get him doing that. Ahsoka doesn't have that. She just has a single peg at either wrist, which is fine. It's still effective, but for a character who holds her lightsabers like that, I'm just a little surprised that you wouldn't have something like wrist articulation, but it doesn't really matter. She has one big ball joint at the I guess at the ab, so you can get like a ab crunch, and back as well. It's kind of restricted because this as well is soft plastic, so you're not going to get a lot of motion out of it. She has the nice, awesome, mind the angle here, ball joints that they use for the Black Series figures, the just straight ball joints, so you get a great range of motion, whereas on the Season 7 Ahsoka uses again, mind the angle, these hinges that you have to rotate like this and then rotate at the thigh to get her actually doing like a kick or an outward motion on the leg, which is super, super annoying when you're trying to pose your action figures. Again, that's a slight nitpick, but doesn't really affect anything, but it would just be nice if there's a little bit more consistency. But it seems like that's the way that these new figures are going, so I don't really mind. You get a nice cut at the upper thigh, so a nice thigh swivel, as well as a single hinge bend at the knee, which is really, really deep because of the way her baggy sort of parachute pants work. I don't know what the name for these are officially. But then as well, you get a nice ankle bend and a awesome ankle pivot here. So overall, a lot of articulation on Ahsoka. She is very well made. Let's just do some quick comparisons now with some other figures. So I'm going to get her standing, at least for the meantime, and then freeze frame.
This time he will underestimate my power. I will keep the high ground.
Frame. freeze frame on freeze. Real quick, let's just do a run through of some characters to compare Ahsoka to. Right now we have the Season 7 Siege of Mandalore Ahsoka Tano, which is an interesting figure because I like the body on it more and I like the details. I think they're just a little bit more accurate, of course, to the Clone Wars, and this one is more accurate to the Mandalorian. I prefer the Clone Wars look because I grew up with the Clone Wars. It's just personal preference. It's just weird that this Ahsoka is supposed to be 17 years old, and this one is supposed to be 40, and she's only like an inch, maybe in scale, taller than her, and she falls a lot. I'm gonna say this gripe now. The toes, or the feet at least, these shoes, not exactly the best for posing. Does not stand all that well. But sometimes you get a solid stance like this, and you're never gonna have her fall down ever. But other times, it's just. That's Ahsoka from Season 7 of the Clone Wars. Next, we have Din Djarin, our resident protagonist of The Mandalorian. He towers over her like he does almost every other figure. Here we have Fennec Shand, and I just had her holding her repeater, which, like I said, fell out of her hand. So there she is next to Fennec. Fennec's a little bit shorter than Ahsoka. Here she is with the Mandalorian Death Watch figure from the Vintage Collection. So he's got a couple of inches on her as well. Awesome figure, by the way. Here, and for some older comparisons, here is the Star Wars, the Black Series 3¼ inch Mara Jade. I guess would be technically her sister-in-law, because Luke and Ahsoka are like siblings, or maybe like an aunt and a nephew. I don't know. Star Wars family is weird, especially the Skywalker family. So that's Mara. And here is the final comparison. We have Starkiller from the Evo Trooper pack, and Starkiller is also taller than Ahsoka. Freeze frame.
Fool, tool. Trust. Fail, tail. Kitty.
Freeze frame on freeze. So the only actual accessories that Ahsoka comes with are her lightsabers. The Imperial Inquisitor lightsabers that are supposed to be white, but are just very milky, transparent. They look great. It's very evident though that and you can even see it on the edge, like here. The silver paint kind of ran, so you can just kind of see through it a little bit. You can see through the lightsabers. The hilts, they're not that silver. The only problem with these, they're great, honestly. The only thing I wish is that they would have included a unextended hilt for the short saber and the long saber. I have the same gripe with almost every modern vintage collection figures. I have the same one with the Season 7 Ahsoka Tano. I have the same one with, well, I don't have any other modern Star Wars vintage collection Jedi here. But it would have been great if we could get what we got with Mara. I don't have her unextended hilt here with me. It's in the other room. But you have a little hole there, and there will be a little peg on the hilt of the lightsaber. You can plug it in, boom, unextended hilt. So you can display them without the lightsabers extended if you so choose. It's just annoying that Ahsoka doesn't have that. It's really not a big deal. I just think that it would have been cool if Hasbro did it. Hasbro, if you're listening, please bring them back. It looks like they're learning, though. Because with the new Kenobi figures, it looks like Reva and Vader both come with and Kenobi all come with unextended hilts as an option to display. So I'm very happy with that. I just wish that it would have been cool to recreate the scene where Ahsoka opens her lightsabers in front of that one magistrate guard and scares the everlasting shit out of him in this figure. But it's fine. It's whatever. So let me pose her up and get a final thought on the figure in. So freeze frame. Freeze frame on freeze. So if it's not already evident, I think this figure, this Vintage Collection Ahsoka from The Mandalorian, is awesome, even though I have my gripes with it. It poses super well. It feels super solid. It looks amazing. Overall, it's a very good figure. And if you would like one, they're pretty much everywhere. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them on Entertainment Earth like I did, Big Bad Toy Store, Dorkside, although be wary of their shipping because they tend to cancel things. Wherever you can get one, they have them. I'm sure they'll even have some at retail, to be completely honest, because Ahsoka is that popular of a character. But if you want one, definitely go pick it up. I highly recommend it. Anyway, folks, that's going to be the end of the review. Thank you all for watching. If you have any friends that like Ahsoka Tano or you like Ahsoka Tano, make sure to share this around. You know, share with your friends, share it in your Facebook groups or your Star Wars Vintage Collection groups or whatever, what have you. I don't care. Just make sure you enjoy what you do. Take care, folks. And as always, peace.